Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm working on another Project Life spread. This is from 2021. If you can tell, this is a 9x12 format. And I'm actually using Studio Calico kit this time. This is the May 2021 Studio Calico kit. As it's probably indicated with this big puffy May sticker. These are the month stickers that they're doing this year. I hadn't decided what I was going to do with these puffy stickers, but I think that I've decided that I'm going to add a transparency to the first week of the month and then stick this on the transparency. So it'll just kind of look like it is floating on the spread, which will be a lot of fun. So I just have the kit kind of laid out here. It always includes, it seems like lately it's been including some sticker sheets that have the cutouts so you could put it into a 3x8 binder, which is super cool. It's a great way to store them, so I'm glad that they're thinking about that. And then I've got my cards. This looks really interesting. These are 3x4 transparency cutouts. Kind of hard to see. Let me see if I've got a white back. I do not have anything that's white backed. Here we go. Maybe you can see that there. It's just a transparency with a cutout. So I might end up sticking on one of these photos. I could cut them out. I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to use these, but I actually do like them. I think this would make a fun scrapbook layout as well. Then the chipboard. This is like nice and colorful. So there's a lot of pinks and yellows with this kit, some greens. You can see there's a little bit of blue. I really like that color blue, especially with that yellow color. It's kind of an orangey yellow. And then this really cute stamp set. So I probably won't use this. I'm not really awesome about the stamp sets when they seem to build on one another, but I think this is a lot of fun, and I think you could build a really cute 3x4 card with this. So let's just jump into the spread. I will, forgot these labels come with them as in the kit as well. So I'm gonna just jump in. You'll see the cards as I go through everything. I have a couple things that I've kind of already included. I don't know if I'll keep. It really just depends on, you know, I include or I slip these ephemera pieces into the pockets as I'm going throughout my week. And then if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Like my priority for this is definitely my photos and my words. So I let that kind of designate what goes in the pocket. So anyways, let's just jump in and get started. All right, so like always, the first thing that I'm going to do is deal with my photos, put those down, and then I will move on to the 3x4 and the 4x6 cards, although I don't think I used any of the 4x6 cards this time. So I really enjoyed creating this spread, and I think what it came down to is feeling like there was a little less photos, and I felt like there was maybe a little bit more creativity involved. Like when there's more cards, you have to think a little bit more than just, you know, throwing photos into the pockets. So I really enjoyed the process of this one. I felt the exact same way I did the last one I did that I shared with you, which was the week in the life week. I think it was week 18. I just really enjoyed playing with the products and laying things down and, you know, seeing it all come together. I think that's part of the process that I really love is, you know, you have an idea of maybe how you want it to go, and then it takes a life of its own. And I really enjoy that. So you can see me kind of going through the kit this time. And with Studio Calico, they always have prints on both sides, which I think is can be good and bad. It's good in that it gives you a lot more designs to choose from. It's bad when you've got a design that you want to have on both, you know, on the spread at the same time. Sometimes you can get away with it where you could use it the following week, but sometimes it's like your favorite. Of course, you could always, you know, maybe scan it and print it out. So you were able to do, you know, able to do both. But I love these Studio Calico kits that they have very specific colors, and then they will have, a certain amount of cards designated for those colors. So you can kind of search for those and, mix and match, which I really like, because I will definitely take this kit and use it for either the following week or the prior week. I'll probably use it for the prior week. And, one thing that I have found when doing this project is somehow, I don't know how that is, somehow I feel like the colors of the photos and the colors of the cards just go together. I never really pay that much attention unless there is a very strong theme, like with Ali Edwards story kits. When there's a very strong theme, then sometimes I'm a little bit more thoughtful about what week it goes in. But I thought it was really interesting that the quote that I had up at the top, that was the same yellow from the packaging that I'm using, which I end up taking that packaging out. And then, just the same yellow in those lemons. So I just thought it was very interesting how well this came together. And maybe it really just comes down to I allowed the photos to kind of dictate the colors in the kit that I pulled out for this week. And of course, it definitely could be that, because you can see there's a lot of reds, there's definitely some greens and some blues, and I chose the pinks and the yellows this time. So I guess it could really just be my eye is drawing me in that direction. Anyways, I did end up using one of the 4x6 cards, and I had 2 photos that I cut down. So one of them came from an Instagram post on the Enneagram, and then the other one was a hike that I had done. It was just kind of the view, and instead of taking up one of the 4x6 pockets, I decided to trim that down so it was a little bit less than a 3-inch square. And I decided that there was a lot of cream instead of white in this spread, and so I loved the idea of using that card, that kind of looked like a ledger, as the backdrop for those photos, and then I could just do a little bit of journaling at the bottom. I used to do that all the time. I'd take my Instagram photos, make them into a square, and then just do a little bit of journaling, but I tend to not do that as much anymore, and I'm not sure why, but I love how this one turned out. All right, so for that card I was just working on, that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I ended up leaving it and stopping, and I will definitely come back to it, but I stopped because, there were 8 lines. I realized there were 8 lines and there were 7 days of the week. So I was trying to decide, I wasn't sure exactly if one of the days needed more room. So if I was going to tell, a highlight from one of those days and I needed like 2 of the spots. So I decided to wait until I figured out what stories I wanted to tell. And then that way I would be able to go back and decide like, Thursday needs 2 of those spots. So then I'll skip one of the colors and then I'll, move down. I didn't end up doing that. You'll see how that turns out in the end. I end up like stamping at the bottom. But anyway, it was just something that I was thinking. And so I decided to wait on putting down those stickers. Those stickers actually came in, I believe, a Studio Calico kit from years ago. But it's nice to have those things on hand. And I was actually thinking that I could stamp as well, but I felt like the stamp was just going to be a little too much and take up a lot of the room. So that's why I ended up looking for stickers that would kind of fit in those squares. And I really like how that one turned out. So right now I'm working on a 4x6 card. So I did take one of the photos and just added it to one of the 4x6 cards. This is just the back side, I think, of another card, which I tend to do a lot because I like that the whites then end up matching. Because, there's actually not a lot of white in this spread, but often when I'm using my own white colored cardstock, I find that the white is very different from the white that's printed on some of these cards. And so I like to use the backs of cards that typically aren't my favorite and that I think that I won't use in a spread, but I find it really useful to save them so that you can use it for the backside, which I think is really useful because it's so much better than having to cut into your cardstock. All right, so now I'm working on some journaling. So for this 3x4 card, I decided I wanted to add a date stamp. I knew that I didn't need to write too much about, what it was, just kind of where I was and who I was with. So that's why I decided to fill in some of the space with the date. I think I ended up writing even more than I thought I was going to. And I decided that my writing is super small. And I wondered if in the future, when I'm older, if I'm actually going to be able to read what I wrote, because I feel like I'm just writing really tiny in order to get everything I want in. You'll see when I work on that Monday through Sunday card how my writing is just super, super small. So that's definitely something I need to consider if I should make my type just a little bit larger. All right, so I'm now working on the title card, and I think you saw me do this in my last video, which was week 18 from 2021. And so I hesitated doing this title card. I'm like, can I actually do this? I did the same thing, a couple weeks before, and I decided, you know what, if it's something that I like to do, I'm going to do it as much as I want. So I'm going to give you guys permission to repeat yourself. If there's something that you love doing, if there's a technique that you love to do, go ahead and repeat yourself. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. This is your project after all. And I think that this would actually be really cool to do a title card like this every single week. I just think it would really add to the year. I see people doing very similar things for their title cards just to keep it very consistent throughout the year. So don't ever hesitate to repeat yourself, especially with something like the Studio Calico Mega Date stamp, which I think is really cool and, should be overused and utilized. So I'm just going to start going through all of the cards that I want to add the journaling to. And you'll see that I'm going to skip around. Sometimes I wonder if I should just start the cards, maybe do this at the very end, start it, skip it, go to the end, but you're going to see that I'll jump through each of them and just doing a little bit of journaling from the week. I think I told a few separate stories, and then I ended up doing the days of the week card. And I took a little bit of a break because I wanted to go to my computer and I wanted to look at my journal and see what things from each day I wanted to highlight, because it's so funny. This week was actually in real life last week. I'm living the week 21. This was week 20, but I literally could not remember the highlights from the week. This is why I keep a journal. So I went and looked at my journal, and then you can see that I did a little bit of journaling on my computer. That was just a longer story that I knew that I wanted to write. And it goes right along with the photo of my daughter to the right of it. All right, so here is where I'm going to finish the days of the week. And I actually forgot that I kind of cut out finishing it, but you can see that I went ahead and I added stickers for the remainders of the day. And you couldn't see it from before, but the stickers were a little bit larger. And so I cut off the top and the bottom just so that it looked like it was kind of sitting inside of the rectangle color. So because I had some space underneath, I was like, I can't really do a date stamp because it's the days of the week. So I decided to grab over and look at some of my older stamps. This one, again, was from Studio Calico, and it says The Little Things. And I thought that would be a really great sentiment for a days of the week card, because that's basically what I was writing down. It was just kind of the one little thing from the day that I wanted to remember. So I'm just going to go through and see if I want to add any more chipboard to this spread. Maybe I'll move a couple cards around. I think I also do end up swapping out that yellow. I actually don't mind it, as I'm watching this video back. But yesterday when I was doing it, I thought, it's just too much yellow there. I just felt like there was too much yellow. And so I thought I can maybe use this for another week. And so I do end up putting, I think, a pink card, if I remember correctly, but you'll see that coming up. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cards together that are going into those 4x6 spots. That way, they'll stay put and they won't move around. I really love this option. And while I'm putting those together, I just wanted to give you a little update on my YouTube channel. So I talked earlier in the year about going live, and I'm gonna do it. So in the next couple of weeks, you can expect to see me live on YouTube. I will most likely be doing a project live process video just because that's very comfortable for me, and I want to start off doing something that's very comfortable. But we're going to go live, and I would love for you to join in. I would love to get to know this community a little bit better, which is what is really pushing me to go live in the first place. So if you would like some more information, and if you would like to vote on when I actually do the live, you're going to want to head over to my Instagram, which is Amy Gretchen Studio. And actually, while you're there, I would love for you to follow me. One of my goals this year is to hit 10,000 subscribers so I can get that swipe up. Anyway, you're definitely going to want to check out Instagram for some more information, but of course I will have information on YouTube as well. So thank you guys again for joining me today. It really means a lot. If you have not yet subscribed, I would love you to do so, and make sure to hit that bell so that you will be notified when a new video comes out. Again, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.